Welcome back to the Bedtime Stories. Getting into reviewing chapter 3. Okay, and it's good. It is good. I hope you got your cocktail, or maybe you made the cocktail with me. The cocktail will precede this video, possibly separately instead of pieced together. So, at any rate, let's get into chapter 3 of Caught Up in Loving a Trail 1-3 here on Bedtime Stories. Okay, boo boos. Let me put my headset so I know what I sound like to y'all. Okay, because y'all seen my earrings. Y'all seen my earrings. You see them. You see them. Okay. So let's get the sound. Okay, so chapter 3 starts with Toy coming home from dropping off her daughters at school. And she gets a call from saying, like, hey, have you had breakfast yet? No, I ain't had breakfast. I was rushing out trying to get these girls out. You said, but I know it's early. I know you said you was gonna come and see me in the morning, or you gonna call me in the morning, but this is early for you. This is early for you, boo boo. What's going on? He said, hey, um, I know it is unusually early for me, but I'm gonna be flying home. I have an early flight to fly home real quick. Um, and she said, "Oh, you going out? I didn't know you was going out of town. Just gonna sneak out of town without me." But mind you, in last chapter, she showed some concern in why his sisters rely on him so much. And he mentioned that he may have to go home to handle some business when it came to his sister. And I'm just saying, if she's having problems and she knows who he is, when he's going home to handle something, he's probably going home to take care of somebody. And I ain't talking about nurse them to him. So he end up is gonna probably have to go back and deal with his sister's boyfriend. Maybe he's on his team in ah, dang it, I forgot. Got where he's from. Columbus, whatever. Anyway, South America. South America, that's where he's from. So he's going down there real quick, but he was just like, well, okay, well, I'm gonna pick you up something to eat on my way there. So you can have breakfast. I'm gonna pick you up some breakfast. He's like, all right, cool. So she all boopity 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 boo. And she looked down at her outfit and said, boy, I was rushing. She had on her leopard scarf holding her hair together, some leggings and a quick shirt that she threw on because she just had to get her daughters to school on time. She said, child, I sure wasn't thinking about it. Let me hurry up and skip on into this condo before my neighbors see me looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? And apparently she lives in a very luxury condo in Atlanta because remember, this is Scar's condo. And Scar don't do nothing little. Okay? So she says, let me shuffle on, hurry up and get in here. And she's bouncing because she didn't hear talk to her boo saint, sexy self. Ooh, I'm trying to think. I know the author said he light skinned, but he don't have to be light skinned in my movie, okay? Oh, and I think I would replace him with an unknown person. At least not unknown. I have a fantasy guy that I go to TikTok and I follow him on Instagram as well. But I, when I say I met him, I haven't met him personally or spoke to him or anything, but I was introduced to this guy, and he is he is every man. He's all the man I need, and I know he young. I hope he's at least in his 30s. I cannot do 20. I cannot do any man in any parts of his 20s too close to my son's age. I just can't do it. But if you mid 30s, you can get all of this auntie, and I promise you, I'll be worth it. Well, I'm telling you, oh, you can have all this auntie, and I'm thinking he's from Oklahoma, but because it has Tej Oklahoma, but his legacy somewhere. And this man, if he really is 6'4" and he is built, cat, cat, got all the muscles, and he. But what it is that's for me is it's not even his muscles as his smile. Oh, he got a little dimple with it. He is so handsome. His smile is just so mischievously ooh, child. Let me stop talking about my MCM. Don't be sitting up here like my man. That's my man. He is in my fantasy. All of them. You hear me? He can be my Franklin Saint. He can be my Saint. Oh, anyway, so he is now my new saint. Okay? In my head, if I was taught. Okay? And so she gets up, she's like, boop a doo, boop a doo. She's having a good day. I'm having a, oh, that was trying to hate her, trying to take me down. And yes, guess what? She had an ultimate hater trying to mess up her day. Okay? And that was her ex, soon to be ex husband, Tyson. So she's like, boop a doo, boop a, and she hears, hold up, hold it, wait, toy. And she freezes in her happy, in her joy. And it's like, and she knew whose voice that was. None other but her man, her ex-man, Tyson. Now she's freezing in concern for a couple of reasons. He has never been to her condo. He knows that she's living in Scar's a condo that Scar, had available. So since they had lost the house and everything due to his antics, okay. But he had never been there. She never told him where it was. He didn't found out. So it's like she's concerned, especially the way he's been acting out about this divorce. And it's like she feels unsafe. You know what I'm saying? So he runs up to her and he's like, hey, I just need to talk to you for a minute. Now, before I go any further, I want to make it clear that it was not clear to me that whether this is Tyson meeting up with Toy before he gets back to his townhouse and he sees Pablo in his living room or after. Okay. I'm gonna take creative assumption for my movie called Love and a Trill One. Okay. This would be before he goes to his townhouse and have the conversation with Pablo. Because this is why I wouldn't. In my book, in my movie, this is how I tweak it. Pablo ain't no goddamn way if he's a smart kingpin, is he gonna let Tyson think about it on his own? Now, this is a man who held down his current supplier. Okay. And yes, he has reason to possibly trust Tyson because he's not, quote unquote, feeling like he's coming back to his whole thing. But Tyson is also not thinking straight. He's thinking with his emotions and what he thinks he should have. Not that there's a whole strategy behind why he's doing it and understanding just trust the process right now. And plus Scar has told him why he's been demoted in the way he has been, you know, in his for now. You know what I'm saying? We have to find out if they're gonna come back to trial. You are a liability right now to this whole outfit this whole game right now. You can really get us all fucked up. And thank you for your loyalty, but you already fucked up by even being caught. Because they really not going for, they're not trying to get Tyson. They don't care about Tyson. Tyson is small potatoes. They're trying to get Scar. Okay. So going forward, so it was in the best interest of Scar to help out Tyson. Okay. So going forward, she sees him and she's like, "How you find out where I live?" And he kind of like, "That's not the issue right now. I just really need to talk to you. No bullshit. I'm not trying. I'm not trying to do anything. This is not. Just I just want to talk to you. Okay. I just real talk. I just got to talk to you." And she's like, "But how you found it?" I said, "Yeah, okay, I get it. I okay." She's like, "Okay." So she's probably. I thought she needed an elevator to get to her condo. So I'm thinking they're definitely in her garage, and I guess she's standing in the entrance way, and he's like, "Come on, for real, let me in." No, so she looks around to see if she sees the neighbor parking. She's like, "Okay, he didn't already embarrass my ass last time." You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to have that shit happen again. And if it's going to happen, I'd rather be behind closed doors. So come on. So he's like, "Fine, come on." So she lets him into the building. Okay. Now, again, I may have read it too fast. It wasn't clear. It made it seem like she was coming from outside into her condo as opposed to letting him into the building, then going up in the elevator and then going to the condo. Okay, but later on, when she lets him out of the condo, it is into a hallway. So we're just going to say that. And maybe again, I am not saying the author wasn't good. The author is pretty. She is excellent. Okay, I'm about to just read her whole every series, every damn series. She got me waiting while I wait for Miss Lisa Stevens to come out with another book so I can review. But she got plenty to keep me entertained, and they're pretty cool. But at any rate, so she eventually lets him in, but he still never really responded to how he found out. She believed that he found out through Therese because Therese had, before she knew that Therese was the baby mama, you know what I'm saying? The other woman, her stepson, she thought was just her godson, but really come to find out it's her stepson had been over there. So of course, he has his way of finding out, and it was probably Therese. Little mm. Let me sip my cocktail. That is good. I'm gonna need to ask for. I'm gonna see how a bartender does an old fashioned. Mm. And every bartender is supposed to know this. Okay, moving on, child. I ain't trying to be on here for 2 hours. So, he lets her in, and basically, he really kind of presses her on if she's really serious about going through with it. If she's really serious about going through with this, and I think for him, if this is after speaking to Pablo, and Pablo, I never completed that thought. I don't feel like I did. Is if it was after Pablo, then Pablo really trusts that he's not going to tell Scar what or he doesn't have any concern. He's not worried because he has a contingency plan if he goes and run and tell Scar what he was offered. You understand what I'm saying? So he must really trust that he did. If this is after he had his his little chat with Pablo about joining his team. If this is afterwards, it kept alluding to Tyson wanted to tell her about what's about to go down and what he's been offered. And I think it was contingent on whether she was really going to go through with the divorce. Okay. I think it was really contingent whether she was going to go through with divorce. I'm taking my glasses off because I don't like the glare and I want you to see my face. I should get contacts again. Whatever. Moving on. So I feel like it was contingent if he was going to tell her more if she was really serious about going through with the wedding. I mean, with the divorce. You know what I'm saying? But if it was after him going to Scar, but before speaking to Pablo, he still might want to be like, yo, I'm gonna have to do something real serious. But I don't think if she would have said, if she would have given any inkling that was possible that she wasn't going through with that divorce, he might have told her whatever else extra information, whether it be I gotta take out Mac or I got an offer with Pablo and or I have to take out Matt. You know what I'm saying? So so basically he gives his whole like, look, I'm not even trying to make it happen, but I just wanted I need to know if you're for real, for real, for real, for real. Real talk. I'm not, I think I've come to the conclusion, but I just want to doubly sure. And she's like, yeah, but at this point, it's been a month now. So she's been able to process this whole situation. And she's still, I mean, this is her husband. This is the man that she's been with for the majority of her adult life. So it's not easy because, I've said this in my single stage and satisfied. And if I didn't, I damn sure said it in my morning chat. It doesn't matter who's the one that breaks up. It's still hard to do, especially when you're talking about someone you were married to. You know what I'm saying? But the trust was broken, irre- irreconcilable at this point when it comes to Toy because he lied to her. You slept with her best friend, never said anything, and yes, yeah, it might have started during the break, but you still was continually doing it. People all around you was lying to me. You lied to me. She lied to me. Everybody lied to me, and we may be in this situation because you was trying to keep up the lie. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, real talk. Tyson could have, if he was to straight up look, okay, while we was on the break, you know, me and your girl got busy. If he would have done that, and she came up pregnant, she has my son. You know what I'm saying? She would have known. She would have known to keep Therese at a distance. Because then at that point, it's a violation of a friendship because it's not like this is a friend who knows that you were not only in love with this man, but this is a friend who she knew. So she would have been the only one. At this point, they're both in violation. Even though Therese wanted to let her know, but that's not the point of it. So she's having emotions. She's starting to tear up because it's hard because she still loves him. That's still her husband. This is not something that came to her easy. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't a decision she made just easy. She didn't want to have to do this, but in her mind, she feels like she got to do it. And I get it because she could never trust him again. And I know he wants her back, but I don't think he wants her back broken the way she's broken. I mean, a lot of times y'all got to think about it. We can't be, we be wanting people back. You want to restore, but once that trust is broken, that person will never be the same. That person will never trust you again. And yes, I mean, like that was that Deborah Cox. song. What's her name? We can't be friends. Like you violated. We there. Why are you trying to hold on to something? If you are willing to always have to answer all my questions, regardless, I don't care if we're 20 years, 70 years. If I question where you are, you have to answer it right away. Tyson doesn't realize he don't want that type of life because eventually he's going to expect her to get over it, and she may never get over it. And I agree, kind of agree with that. Once you violate that trust, I mean, unless you're okay with always having to her question your whereabouts, no matter how long you have proven that I ain't never making that mistake again. Just know that I'm going to have to deal with this until that person is available, to forgive for real, for real. But at any rate, so they go through this whole thing, and she's like, he's like, I never wanted to make you cry, and it's none of my business if this brother, he got Tyson got to be a good one too. If I cast him, I still feel like I didn't never cast him. I think I would. Someone is he would have to be smooth the words because but he also have to be able to lose it because he's losing his wife. And I would say I would cast Tyson. I think I would do Will Smith. I think that he would have a good way of like he can be like, I don't want to lose you, and he can really grab onto her. I can see him being that. You know what I'm saying? Um, it would be him or maybe even what's his name? He's a comedian, but to me he just have a sexy way about him, and he can sing it. Jamie Foxx would be Tyson. I just see Jamie as a bigger guy though. I see him as a bigger guy, like someone pretty big. So I would say Will Smith with his height, and if he bulked up like he did with Ali, you know what I'm saying? Someone who's trying to hold on to this relationship. I can see that because, especially with him being a Libra and Libra being the sign of relationships. Yeah, and it got to a point where she's crying because this is hard for her, and she still loves She still loves Tyson. She still loves her husband, but he violated so much. I can't help but it's like I gotta put you in jail. It's no matter how much I love you. It's like spanking your child. It's like disciplining your child. However you choose to discipline your child. When you love them and it's like, but it was the whole devised plan to not get me to know for me, and I got to cut the ties here. I have to put my foot down because if I do this, it just tells you can do it. You can continue doing it. So she's in tears or whatever, and he gets in and he sneaks a kiss in on the cheek, and it was like she didn't push him away, so he went in for another one and another one. And before you know it, they're kissing passionately in the kitchen at the kitchen counter. He done took her off the stool and picked her up and put her. That's why it has to be Tyson. I mean, yeah, Will Smith. It has to be Will Smith. Someone that could lift you up and put you up. He can lift me up, put me if I lose a few pounds. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not sip on this. But anyway, and he's like, he went in for a kiss on the cheek and a kiss on, And it's like, oh, so she let me do it. Let me see if she'll let me do this. He pulls her in for her. I mean, it happens. It almost happens. But then she's like, I can't do this. She couldn't reconcile still having sex with her, still husband that she loves very much, but saying, "Oh, I want a divorce." How you gonna come back and say, "Oh, the sex was good, but we ain't together, bitch"? You know what I'm saying? So and it's not like she's lacking any peen at all. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because she got Saint rocking her world. Okay, first of all, in the sex arena, she got it going on. She got two men trying to get with her, or yeah, not trying because Saint has got it. Okay, and Tyson had it, and could have slipped in, but she stopped it as she should because it didn't reconcile with her. And he was like, okay, I was surprised that you let me get that far. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, but I just want to let you know I'm going to be uh, more more easy on this whole process. I'm accepting the fact that it's over, and it was my fault before this happening. And whatever you want, as long as I get to see my kids. And of course, like nigga, of course you can see your kids. I'm not gonna never keep you from your children. He's like, okay. So she finally gets him out because she's also in her mind thinking Saint is on his way to her condo with breakfast, and she almost had sex with her ex. Okay, and well, not official ex, but still basically emotionally and physically, all that stuff. Ex. Okay, so she's also kind of like, I wish he'd hurry up and get to the point of why he came over here. Now, she was happy that he admitted all the whole thing, but she's also very suspicious of the fact that this all of a sudden change in his attitude about the divorce was really good. Okay. She's still suspicious and she's trying to figure out why he's all seeing if he's lying or whatever. Now, it almost was like he was calling to tell her, he came by to let her know. I think he wanted to let her know what was going on, but I don't think he wanted to tell her the full story if she was really. I think why he bit his tongue, and it says in the chapter 3, that he did hold off on telling her the full information, as well as because of how everything played out, she didn't kind of let him know the whole lowdown on what's going on with her and Saint, because she just didn't want to ruin this goodwill, which is also the reason why I kind of feel like if Saint would have showed up before he left, it would have kind of made it more solidified. Even though he just brought her breakfast, a companion, a work companion, to come and bring you breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Which he initially is a work companion. So this is good. Ooh, I tell you. So he gets someone out before um Saint shows up at her condo that really the condo she's staying in. She goes in, takes a shower. She's still kind of like emotionally confused. She's just feeling some type of way. She doesn't know how to feel. You know, he did that for a reason. She knows it. There's more that he wanted to tell her, but he wasn't telling her. It says that in the book, in chapter 3, that she kind of knows that he wanted to tell her more, but he's not telling her more. So Saint arrives. He has a key to the condo. Now, because it's not hers, it's Scar's. Scar could give whomever he wants to have the key to that condo. Now, after having the whole Pablo show up inside of Tyson's house, I mean, I'm feeling some type of way. I'm feeling nervous for her. I don't know if I could be able to stay in that condo, but apparently it's really nice. Read the book. Go and get it. It's available at MichelleElaineBooks.com. Okay, get the book. This is where I got this book. You can also go to Amazon and find it, but it's easier to find it right there on her website. Um, so she's in the shower, kind of, what she really is washing up for her boo. But I would say that she really kind of was washing, just she was just getting the girls out. So this is her doubling back, coming home, taking a shower, and looking better than what she was walked out in. Okay, and so she gets out the shower. She hears a noise in the living room, so she goes and get the gun, the trill one she is, and then she hears a familiar voice, which was Tyson. And I mean, not Tyson, which was Saint. He said, "Boy, you almost got shot." She didn't say that, but he almost got shot until she heard his voice. He said, "I forgot you had." She's still stunned by the conversation and the almost sex she had with her ex. You know what I'm saying? And the emotions that she went through talking with him, on top of being like, I heard people in there, I will shoot a nigga, and she will. Now I don't think she killed nobody, but she'll shoot a motherfucker. Okay, especially if her children or her family's involved, she will shoot a mug. So, um, she goes on. I mean, he's like, "What's up?" He could tell her look. She looked. It said, "Nah, man, you startled me. I heard shit. You almost got shot because until I heard you asking for me." It's like, yeah, I forgot Scar gave you the key to the apartment, which is okay because she's fucking him. Oklahoma. Ooh, Ah, anyway, going on. So they have a conversation. He drops the information he finds out from Scar. He says Corey sounds like all his story is right, but they not looking at you for some reason. They just assume that Mac would be the one to take over his business, and he's the one that's making everything pop while Saint is in. I mean, Tyson is in jail. So it's crazy, but they're not looking for you per se. But Toy is still like, and I think also Saint was saying the same thing. It's like, but I'm still kind of side eyeing homeboy because he was trying to, he might be trying to introduce some new information, you know, especially with him dating your sister and everything. I don't know. I'm still side eyeing homeboy, but for all sense and purposes, I'll say, for all sense and purposes, for all sense and purposes, um, the main thing is they're not looking at her. They're looking at Mac. Okay. Again, I somehow this gonna lead back to Mac being the one to do it. But then let's go on first and let's talk about the conversation where she's like, okay, you got all the information. So wait a minute, pause. So Toy was like, pause. Wait a minute. So Scar has an inside person? Yeah, the attorney general. Okay. And then she started calculating. Click, 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 click. Wait a minute. You got an inside person. So, wait a minute. Hold up, pause. And I don't have that sound on my soundboard either. Computer, I have to add that. I have to really start using my soundboard more often. Okay. And she goes to, wait a minute. So you knew Tyson was going to get arrested. And, say is eating his food like, we sure did. We just never knew when it was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know. We knew they were looking into him, but we just didn't know when it was going to happen. So yeah, we knew he was going to get arrested. And you didn't give my man a heads up. It was already in the works. It was already going to happen. There was nothing that Scar could have done. He was going to get arrested regardless. Okay. The attorney general can't stop the cops or the FBI from arresting a person. Okay. He had the information. And she started looking like, y'all didn't even give my nigga a heads up. It didn't matter if he knew or not. It wasn't going to make a difference. He was going to get arrested. Okay. But Toy's kind of side eye. It's like, wait a minute. So y'all could have helped out my man, and he's like, So she's kind of like she's thinking, she's calculating things like, we wouldn't even be in this situation. I wouldn't even be divorcing my husband, and this whole thing had y'all just gave him a fucking heads up that this was coming down the pipeline. He could have prepared for this. And I see what she's saying, but I also see it's like it was too late. I feel like they could have given him a heads up so that he could have prepared. You know what I'm saying? For whatever, like, or she's gonna end up finding out about this. He would have had an opportunity to tell her before. Now, would he still be going through divorce? Probably not. If he was like, I gotta tell you the truth about something. Bum, 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 bum. She probably have still left him, but she would have left him and she wouldn't have been in a position where she is in the business. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he knew and they gave him a heads up and he still continued to do it, you know what I'm saying? But I think that he could have had an opportunity. So she's side eyeing the whole Scar situation. But then at the same time, saying is like, she walks away like she's like, what he said, what's wrong? He said, nothing, nothing. He said, okay, you already lied to me once. I see it, but I let it slide. But you gonna continue lying to me? Are you gonna continue lying to me? Because I can tell when you're lying, Toy. She's like, that's when she broke down, say the whole thing about you not giving her the Scar not giving Tyson a heads up, and that's when he went into like, I know what you're thinking, but it was nothing that Scar could have done. The best thing he could have done was get him out. Okay, as you can see, that's what happened. So it's like she kind of accepted, but she still kind of side eyed because the whole thing with seeing Tyson and talking to him and almost having sex with him. She's really like her head is not in the right place. Though I would be side, I still would be like, I feel you. You right. But in the back of my mind, I'm looking at Scar sideways too. So if I found out that Scar knew that he was going to get arrested, that he was going to, you know what I'm saying? He had the whole setup because Tyson started slipping. He clearly had to, I mean, because if Scar had an inside man in the attorney general's office that's feeding him information, they knew that when they started looking out for that dude. And they knew exactly, Scar knew exactly what it was that he did that Tyson got put onto the FBI's radar or the GBI radar. He knew exactly what it was that he did that made them think, oh, let's look into this Tyson dude. Scar knows exactly what. It was. And like Saint alluded to that, he fucked up the money. As I'm what I'm not trying to tell you is that your man fucked up the money at some point, okay? Which now have CIA and FBI, the government looking at him, which they're trying to get to Scar. Okay, they're looking at that whole operation now because he done fucked up the thing. As fucking done, they done fucked up the thing. Okay, they done fucked up the church's money. Okay, but Scar knows exactly what it is that he did that put him on the radar. He knows. Now, Saint alluded to he probably fucked up the money. Tyson, that is, trying to keep secrets from Toy, and for that I agree. I completely agree that that's probably why, because he was trying to keep that secret from Toy. So it's like they go through the whole thing. A Saint finishes his food and he starts getting up and going. He's like, and Toy's like, "Oh, you leaving?" He said, "Yeah, because your vibe is, bitch, don't kill my vibe. You killing his vibe right now, with the whole thing. And I just want to get out of here before it goes left." Okay. Now, because of the relationships I've had with men in the past, one of the things is like, if the vibe ain't right and they're sensitive to the vibe, a man, he's out of there. He's out of there because he just doesn't want to go left. Really bad left. It's already leaning to the left. He ain't trying to be there when it goes absolutely to the left. So anyway, so he leaves. He's explaining. He's straight up with her. That's why I'm out of here. He kisses her forehead and he's out. Because plus he has to catch that plane going back home, and that's where we kind of leave it. And she's kind of, he leaves her there in the apartment, and that is it with chapter 3. Now, for chapter 4 review, it'll be again, same time, same place, right here on IG, right here on YouTube when I upload it. Hello. Mm. So, this cocktail has got me really feeling really nice, and I still got more to go. It's a good sip. I am now a new fan of Manhattans. I no, I'm sorry, old fashioned. Old fashioned. Oh yeah. But anyway, follow me on all platforms according to Akara. Buy my merch. I have this tumbler which I absolutely love. The link will be in the descriptions of YouTube. And the Podbean podcast. Pick up a tumbler today. So you'll have you a cup that'll keep your coffee hot and your iced coffee cold. You want to get that. I promise you. Try out the Manhattan. Try out Cooper's Whiskey Bourbon. Okay? And I will see you next time right here on YouTube for the morning chat on Monday. All right? Like, share, subscribe if you like what I'm bringing. Put a comment if you think there's something that I can improve on. I'm down for the approval, the improvement. Okay? Hello? Now, this is a longer video than I intended to make, but that's all I got for you. Remember, love yourself, love your neighbors, and buy a t shirt. You're worth it. Bye.